was watching an old episode of Wagon Train where they had a pretty young actress depend to be a Azteca and take them to Tenochtitlan with Montezuma, and it's weird what TV does. It's like watching Peabody and Sherman in the Wayback Machine, right? And we watching right now. I waiting for the news to come out, and they got Shark Tank on, which is also like watching Peabody and Sherman in the Wayback Machine. Yeah, it's like that. So you like that? Marketing is clinical insanity. Okay. When you do something, okay, make sure you do it right, because you can't do it wrong. That's why the whole world is singing this song. We should have, even before they started studying and monitoring me in 1966, probably, by the time Jiddu Krishnamurti had addressed the UN in 1985, human beings, especially elitists that are supposed to be great problem solvers with their great inventions, should have started radically changing globally. They had so much documentation and so much mysteries with religion and prophecy and stuff that were quote unquote solved without needing solving by Sun Yat-sen, Jiddu Krishnamurti, Haile Selassie, and Totoro Suzuki, and that was hard for Herschel Steinsteiner. That's a fulfillment of stuff in the Book of Daniel. That was very insane, but yeah, when you sit and look at it, but after, you'd think by 1985, the culmination of all these events, after Krishnamurti had addressed the UN about what was going on with the papacy and stuff, and the hypocrisy behind it, and understanding the genocidal operations through those corporations. It's baffling and mind-boggling that we still have shit like this going on TV. This is like basically watching Wagon Train take the Aztec girl back to Tenochtitlan, and what? What are we doing? It's Peabody and his boy Sherman, right? And that this is still happening to this day. And they have these kids. I watched these kiddos on a video thing that they recommended about people getting fired at Walmart, and the one little girl in the electronics department, and these people are underappreciated and underpaid, and she was funny, and you're a pervert, and she was a lot like you're cool. It was a lot like on Half Baked. She had me laughing. She was funny. She just had enough. She's one of them little black girls, had enough, got on the loudspeaker before she walked out and told them about themselves and left, right? And she was funny, right? And then they had a lot of people talking a lot of mess and stuff and everything like that. And guys, Walmart is unjustly vilified by the corporate entities, okay? The one place in the United States where poor people can literally afford to pay their extortion is Walmart. The one place that they can afford to shop and eat is Walmart. Okay. We didn't stop in Pokeway. We were feeling really jolly when we left from Raleigh. We didn't stop in Pokeway. We didn't do it. We just drove right through it. There's a lot of shit that goes on, and it's difficult being them. Okay, but trust me, Walmart's not NASA. And NASA sure the fuck ain't Walmart. But Walmart is Walmart because of NASA. Not NASA is NASA because of Walmart. Okay. So do you understand? Okay. So Halliburton and Northrop Grumman are Halliburton and Northrop Grumman, and Walmart is Walmart because of Halliburton and Northrop Grumman, right? So you need to quit jumping on some people from Arkansas who started the big company store. And then the company store stays in business because of Halliburton, Northrop Grumman, and NASA, right? Do you understand? Okay. So stop blaming the people that are scared shitless of NASA and Northrop Grumman and Halliburton for the plight of the poor. Okay. The main reason a lot of us can go shopping and eat and get decent food to eat and help our family, survive this hell is because the one place we can afford to shop and stay financially solvent is Walmart. Okay. So you need to get off of them and quit being such fucking assholes to them. And I know how hard it is for the employees. That's one of the main things. That's why I stay in the store so long in that Freon death trap. But that's because Halliburton don't care if a Arkansas mommy gets chemical poisoning and then the baby dies sucking on the mama's tit. Okay. And Kevin O'Leary's got to make lots of money off of it because how much can he make out of it selling products there, right? So they're assholes. Okay, trust me, a dog could figure it out and explain it to you. Here comes Peabody and his boy Sherman, right? We're in the Wayback Machine. So you got to understand that they're unjustly vilified. Okay, and it's hard on the people. I am working diligently not to shut Walmart down, but us forced to take those kind of storage facilities and remodel and reinvent them so they're more they work better. Okay, so we build them better to last. It's not a Freon factory. If we have stuff above, especially New Mexico, we use water cooled systems instead of Freon cooling systems. Any Freon we have in a basement. We might just want to take any of the underground refrigeration storage for frozen and cooled foods and put them in a just entirely different location, and then use the old Walmart buildings for, especially maybe not so much. Well, we could put water cooled systems and use them for tennis, basketball, roller skating, if we wanted to, that kind of thing. That you could do a lot. We and people talked about that, a lot of things you could do with the big things at Walmart and the way you could divide them and put the divider. And so there's a lot of things you could do those kind of big buildings if you put water cooled systems in the Southwest where you could do it that way. In the summertime, they may not be to do that in the deep South, but in the wintertime, you could sure do that there. So there's a lot of things we could use to utilize the buildings as community centers. And remember the good times of us people shopping and meeting our friends and family there and getting their food and no more cocoa or Fruity Pebbles or shit like that, and getting sick off of eating food products and getting stressed, getting salmonella after they got these use. No one cares what concerns us, the politics. This is why we're anti-social. Okay, so it's Smart Alec. It's pretty good. Go listen to it. But it's a good rap tune. It is. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, it's one of my favorite rap tunes. Anti-social, Smart Alec. This is Britain. He's Britain. He's got a British accent. Yes. All right, but got to watch these youths. Okay, that's how you say youths in Britain. Okay, you're cute. I know. I'm just being silly, but I know he was a very charming kid, and he was very polite, to me, and so I appreciated that from him. And so. When he respects his elders and he understands that the older man has concerns about what's happening to the young kids in Britain, which has been going on with me since, it's West London, all over London. The people them are calling out for justice. Oh, Earl's been this way since started listening to Marvin Gaye. Okay. So, yep, you know me. And so, yep. Anybody else particularly fond of Marvin Gaye? You don't have to be. You don't have to have really excellent taste in music. And a guy who's, has a lot. He wrote a lot of those albums. Had legitimate concern about other people's well-being and health, and not being murdered by economic conflict. And they had the one kid on there, and he goes, our time, isn't, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. All this time. We have no intrinsic value to our relationships with our friends or our family. We have no meaningful relationships. Time is not money, and money is not time. If we can all get together, it's different. There, when you eliminate what is perceived as a profession, and you have people get together and do things that they know help people live better lives. Okay. Most of our jobs are irrational and meaningless, right? I'm not going to say that about watching the football match tonight between Pittsburgh and El Paso and cheering real loud when he crossed the ball across, and the one little kid almost went down to his knees to get the header and knocked it in. It was a really good play. And I was like, oh, that's a good play. And it was like they had 3 minutes of stoppage time, and it was like at 92 minutes and 30 seconds, They set it up and boom. So I was like, okay, there you go. Good job, And it's football and it's fun and it's exercise. Okay. Nobody got raped or murdered. Nobody's village got pillaged. Okay, and stuff. It's just a bunch of poor kids trying to pay their bills for marketing, right? And so you look at the kiddos, and then you sit there and you size the situation up, and you sit there and after the game they all got together and they got on their knees and they looked to the skies and they prayed in their own way that they've done traditionally for a lot of them in tribalism and spirit, like the Montezuma and the Aztec girl on wagon train, for thousands of years. Okay. And they're just, looking for space to find out who they are, And so, those kiddos, they're doing their thing. They're out there, and football's fun. And soccer's fun, yeah. Especially, and the nice thing about the game is no one really. The one little kid from Britain got a yellow card, and he got it from talking after he didn't like the call, but it did deserve the call. He came and really, whacked it to the kid, and the kid made a good play keeping him from the ball. I think he was just kind of frustrated and thought it was kind of a sissy call. It wasn't a sissy call. It was a good call. And then afterwards he had something to say about it, and the ref said, no, so don't do that. No, I'm calling a good game here. Hey, listen to me. You're gonna have to watch yourself the next game, because so that's what the ref did. And it was good officiating. So you're like, oh, that's a good job. Okay, don't let your emotions get the best of you. In the words of a broken heart, right? And so sitting there, playing football is healthy and it's fun, but we don't need to make believe money off of it, because we don't need to stay here for 8 hours a day and 5 days a week, and like the young man said. Well, people, this quantum computing has globally connected us. The Messiah in the book of Revelation performed the apocalypse, went into the bowels of the worst invention of hell human beings could possibly come up with, Cochise County, Arizona, from October 2006 to February 2011. Okay. And the Lord said, shut her down, and Earl get her done, and got her did, and then came back home. Okay. Well, where I was born, here in Las Cruces. And then went and told the family what I did. And then took the time frame from that they gave us in the books of Daniel and Revelation, from the time I started making myself available in June of 2009 to the people, for people should have been looking for me, in the very bowels of hell, the Wi-Fi manipulative economic network of military intel, Cochise County. So, that was the timetable, and that was fulfilled by January 22nd, 2013. And like Rockefeller said, they'll gladly kill over me, my grandpa's money, and watch you and your Jesus die, Parsons. Okay, everybody dies. Okay, everybody dies. Judah Krishnamurti. When he's talking to kids at Richie Valley, we all die. Okay, don't worry about appeasing these murderers that are trying to manipulate flesh and matter to give themselves delusions of immortality. Okay, because when Jeff was talking about that, and the scientists were talking about that with AI, these are immortal. No, they're not immortal. No. You're taking your brain and you're trying to unnaturally elongate your brain through a projection of your brain activity through this technology. Okay, that does not make you immortal. It's just taking the life that the soul provides for the flesh and trying to trap the perception of the soul in the mind to transcend your physical existence and not respect and regard the life of sacrifice given to you by the glory of God to love one another through holy covenants. Jeff has trouble understanding this, and so do his scientific colleagues. Okay, Demas doesn't have as much of that problem because of his rabbinic tradition through family tradition. And Jeff does, because Jeff's people, took it and Romanized it and then tribalized it and bastardized it. Possessive pronoun first person, and trapping the soul in here. Okay, Demas's people had more of an understanding. There is no God but God. God is not beget nor is God. Like I tried to talk to wore my leg out at the Walmart. And I do not hate the people at Walmart that run Walmart. I know they're trying to survive. I've got them in prayer many times, just like we're trying to. Please don't. I'm not. You guys, anything that happens, anything the lettuce makes me sick or anything, that's not your issue. You're not NASA. You're not Halliburton. You're not Northrop Grumman. Please don't panic. If you want to try to publicly support me and share me, and your technology doesn't let you, we understand that Walmart does not control the satellites, the internet, and so on and so forth. And seeing the internet as a public utility for the world's first profession is clinical insanity and not education. It's dictation, legislation, and this needs to be completely understood. Okay. You guys need to understand just how humble this noggin is and how perfect the intelligence that passes through this noggin and comes out of these lips is. Okay. Guys, I'm the one at line of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. Saladin, Pascal, yes. Triangle, yes. I'm an excellent driver, 20 Mr. Wapner. And I'm very sarcastic, and I think it's funny. And if you don't think it's funny, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to abuse people with your opinion if it's not based on actual facts and can be validated by math, science, and history. Unraveling the mystery. Bang, bang! Shot me down. Okay, do you understand? Okay. My own family has this problem. From the tribalism, the institutionalization, and the fear of being killed if they go against the, You guys got to understand, guys, my dad is British. How many stories have you heard with the people at British that believed in Jesus and were taken by the aristocrats and tortured to death hideously for believing in Jesus and not denying him? I know there's a God and don't deny him. Don't talk about my father. God is my friend. And all he asks of us is we give each other love. Okay. So you guys can criticize my father all you want because of his emotional reactions with Dolly Parton and Charlie Kirk and so on and so forth. Okay. But that's the product of Halliburton don't care, Northrop Grumman don't care, and scientists that are apathetic and have bad brain activity through egotistical brain chemical addiction over thousands of years don't care. And I understand that they're not capable of caring like the little girl on the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Maybe they don't know how to love. Maybe she killed it right there. We can leave it at that. There you go. She didn't kill it. She knocked it out the box. Yeah, she did. Verb, that's what's happening. Is it gonna? I don't know my own power. It's not your power. It's just using your strength to knock it out the box, girl. Knock it out, girl. Right? She's like, that was fucked. That was back in the 1990s, Hopefully she's still alive and still surviving to the best of her ability, and she sounds so sweet, so kind. Maybe she's a grandma now, and hopefully, we're doing the best she can. She might shop at Walmart. It's entirely tangible. Okay, just like me, I'm the Messiah, and I shop at Walmart on Loman, Las Cruces, New Mexico, right? Just like it said in the Book of Revelation, right where the Bible said I'd be, right where the Quran and the Book of Mormon and the Abrahamic Bible said I'd be, right here, where they invented them nuclear weapons, and even up to the time that Earl is the focal point of shutting all this crazy shit down, they're still, hey, we'll blow you up if you don't accept our money over the Lord's Prayer. Dip-dop-diddly-do. Well, that's a bad idea. It's real bad idea. Bad idea. I'd like to thank Mike and Hallie again. That was a really good prayer. Yeah. Especially Mike. with the things that I discussed about what happened with his daughter, and him taking that to heart and looking at it, understanding it, and not getting vehemently angry at me, and accepting that understanding and going, he's right, and I want my little girls that live through me in the future not to be subject to that kind of bad brain activity through science experiments, and trying to hunt down those guys and kill them isn't going to make the world safer for little girls that come through my body, that I share my body with women to love children through loving those women. And I'm like, you, Mike, that was beautiful prayer. Did Hallie help with that? Yeah, you hope so? Me too. Yeah, she's cute. I like her too. It's hard not to crush on her, isn't it though? Yeah. We got good taste, Mike. Yeah, you do. No, Robin Gibbons is cute too. I understand how horrible. I was in tough relationships too, Mike. I'm with Shaq on that one with you too. I know how hard it is. And it was, yeah, and then being part of these science experiments for political propaganda, tool bagging. I dig you, man. I love you too, Mike. Mike, you're making me cry. I know. Thanks, Mike. I love her too, Mike. I love Michelle too, Mike. Yeah, you're a good kid. You have a good heart. Thanks for crying with me, Mike. If we're going to shed a tear, it's going to be for your little girl and for Michelle and Marianne, and I agree. And all the abuse Amy and her kids had to go through to try to have crazy scientists trying to validate their selfishness, which is in absolute pathetic insanity. I totally agree with you, Mikey Mike. Thanks, man. Thanks again. We didn't get to talk enough. Well, you know, Barry, she dominated the conversation. She's a girl. You know how girls are. She's cute. Yeah, you know, hey. Yeah, guys, if it was me and Mike and we were talking, she would dominate the conversation. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting along with her too. Yeah, I'd like to wake up every morning. I said, yeah, me too. Yeah, we really got along real well. She got my jokes, and she didn't tell me I was inappropriate all the time. I like keeping her around. Me too. Yeah, who do you think she's going to choose? I don't know, Mike. It's the important thing is that we're all living the Lord's Prayer. Yeah, I dig you too. I love you too. Thanks, Mike. That was... Thanks for helping me cry. That was, you know, Muhammad said it's good to cry when we're sincere and we're sharing the emotions of our lives and we understand the importance of our lives and the beauty of our lives and how special the gift is, but through loving one another, that our tears should be said and should be very sincere so people understand that tears are a gift from our capacity to love, you know, from our lives given to us by the glory of God through loving one another. Thanks, Mike. That was very, yeah, I like Keith too. I love Keith too. He thinks like a Muslim. I like Tupac too. I love him too. I love him too. I love him too. I know. You missed it. Okay. I never got to meet him, dog. You know. There's Keith, you know, he's my dog. You know, prayer through music and hip hop too, yeah, and expressing, you know, wanting to stop the abuse of our people that are poor and being abused by people that think make believe money makes them rich, and yeah, and you know, I was excited, and then they got Michelle after that, and I love you, Mike. Thanks. I know, yeah. Our daughters don't go to a make believe heaven in the sky. Okay, we have to make the world a better place. So when there's a temple for the flesh, that is a temple for the soul of that beautiful, kind, loving, caring person, that this world is a kind, caring, loving place, practicing the praise and the worship of the prophets, because the Father's practice that makes perfect for our perfect love to work and love every day is perfect, and we do not deny him, and we do not disrespect him, and when he tells us the truth about his life, we accept the truth about his life, we embrace the truth of his life, and we share it with everyone that has ears to hear and a mouth to speak, right? And if you don't have a mouth to that speaks or ears that hear, find a way to feel him, find a way to be like him. He is in the name of the Lord, the all-compassionate, all-merciful. He will not deny us. He will not let us down. Okay, you do not have faith in him, but you believe in him because his faith is immaculate. It's perfect. Thank you, Michael Tyson. That was beautiful. Thanks, Shaq. Thanks for being, you know, a kind person and being there for Mike when he felt so bad and he was being so abused by all this propaganda tool bag and technological manipulation and stuff. Thanks, man. I dig you. I love you, dog. Okay, thanks. Hi, Shooter. I love you. Okay, that's a good son. You have a good guy. I like him. I really like him. You don't have to pull my fingernails from my hands. I really like him. He's a sweetheart. That was a pleasant surprise. I went to go see the stuff on Mikey Williams because I've seen he's has a very rough life and a lot of people have been very abusive. And then I saw that Mike Bibby was his coach. And so I went to go see because I've connected with Mike because being from the same high school barrios growing up playing basketball and stuff and everything. And I know I'm pretty sure that his dad knew Joe. Lots of people Joe. Yeah, especially Rick Barry. Rick Barry was one of the most adamant defenders of Joe when he was being abused by the abuse in the league through money and abuse and all the crap that was going on. And Rick Barry was one of his adamant. I didn't like Big Barry when I was young, and then afterwards, I really, when he started doing announcing, I was like Roger Staubach. I was like, I was wrong to dislike him. I like him. He's really tries his best to be a good human being, and stuff. So yeah, that happens a lot. Sometimes you just get you get in these situations, and then you get to know the person, and you totally misjudge them. I had a lady I worked with at Great Big Indian School. At first, we hit it off on the wrong foot, and then we became just really good friends because we found out what each other was really about, and we just adored each other. And that's happened to me with quite a few people. Yeah, I was sitting there, and we got off on the wrong foot. Me and Chris Perez. And Mark Anthony, yeah, first time macho bullshit all over the thing. And that's what the cool thing about it was, Chris Perez. You're like, Chris Perez? Yeah, we talked in prayer. And it was an angry thing. I was like, why didn't you do this? What do you mean? Why didn't you save your mom? He got real mad at me. There was nothing I could do. She didn't call me. She didn't tell me what was going on. If I was knowing what was going on, I would have been there and I stopped it. I know I would have, and stuff. And I know he would have. And, and I know that. I know Chris. And, it was really hard, and drugs and alcohol must destroyed him, reliving that day and going back today and wanting to fix that day. He didn't care if the marriage had gotten on the rocks or if she left for someone else. He just didn't want to feel her and see her die. He loved her. You don't ever stop loving that woman. Maybe they've never been loved. Maybe they don't know what he knows what love is, and he knew that he loved, and he knew it was hard, and he knows that all this bullshit about money and this make-believe invention bullshit to make assholes feel powerful makes our lives absolutely miserable, and it needs to stop now. He's a good kid. I really like Chris Perez. He's a good person to talk to in prayer. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. When I talk to people, I connect to the soul. And then they sit there, if they have the blessed opportunity to have access to this YouTube, they go, oh my gosh, Jennifer Lopez has told me many times, I like me better when you talk to me on your YouTube than I talk to me. It's like, yeah, me too. She's tough. She's a toughie. Yeah. I have a special place in my heart for Max and Emmy's mom. I really do. Yeah. She's a toughie. She's tough. Yeah, she like my Natalie and my Amy and all the people that were abusing me and all the girls that were abusing me and all the girls I didn't get to be with that were abusing me that my Edna and my Miriam and my Maria and okay, this has been a really hard life up till for 60 years now, and let's all work together to make life better every day, and all this bullshit going on TV about bullshit manipulation through make-believe economics. Let's get together and let's pray hard for that Lord's Prayer, and let's start changing this technology right now. Let the technology know that you are in control of who you are, okay? That the soul provides life to this temple. I have faith in God. I love my neighbor, okay, as myself. And I love my enemies so they can be neighbors that love me because they have faith in God also. Thanks, dude. That was cool. Thanks, guys. All right. Appreciate that. I'm going to stop it here. We'll get some sleep and we'll get back to work in the morning. Hopefully by morning, we have a lot of different activity across the TV and with this YouTube that is helping the world be a better place immediately, LY. If that doesn't happen, don't think that way. Don't think that way. Fuck assholes that laugh because they don't care if a baby dies sucking poison out of a mama's breast because they're murderers. Don't think like them. Think like me. Don't think like an asshole. You pay taxpayer dollars to keep your fake money safe. Money doesn't keep you safe. It just gets people killed. All right? Love you guys. All right? Peace out.